तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिडीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees. On Sunday, the 22nd February 1885, we have already noted that this session is specially earmarked for householder devotees who usually used to stay in and around Kolkata and who were unable to visit Dakshineshwar on weekdays, because that is the official days and they will be busy in their respective professions. So this birthday is specially designed on the following Sunday to facilitate the devotees to participate in the celebration. And the topic of discussion which we were engaged in was the secret of spiritual success in a householder's life. The goal is, we have to understand, there are two stations of life, principally two different sections. One is the life of a householder and the other the life of a sannyasin. Both channels are different, have different disciplines of life. But you have to understand the goal, lakshya of both the stations of life are same. That is to realize God in this very life. ईश्वर दर्शन ही मनुष्य जीवन का उद्देश्य है. Irrespective of whether you are a householder or sannyasin, and man and woman, rich or poor, literate or illiterate, that is not to be considered. Everyone, every human being has a common goal, that is to see God, or in a more defined way to develop love for God. भगवान की भक्ति कराई जीवनेर उद्देश्य. Goal should be made very clear. Goal of life is to develop love for God. भगवान का चरण में भक्ति अर्जन करना. And the method is same, that is renunciation. Renunciation is an English translation of the original Sanskrit word tyaga. The Bhagavad Gita we have written and we have noted त्यागात शांति अनंतरम. We all want peace. सब कोई शांति चाहते हैं. शांति तभी मिलेगा जब जीवन में त्याग का भावना आएंगे. त्याग. That's why in the Upanishad it has been very clearly explained that त्यागे नहीं के अमृतत्व मानसुहु. They did not say that by renunciation you will reach the goal, become immortal. They said by renunciation alone, त्यागे नहीं के ना, there is no other way. So householder or sannyasis, we don't have two different methods. It should be very made clear. The householders need not think that they have a life of bhoga, sannyasis have a life of tyaga. ऐसे नहीं है. The householders have to practice tyaga internally, whereas the sannyasis have to practice tyaga both internally and externally. This is the difference. And for reasons for that. Now, however, they have different methods of approach. The discipline, spiritual discipline differs. Because we have to understand the sannyasin should be away from lust and wealth in precisely from women, they said Kamini Kanchan, no, women and gold. So, in modern nomenclature, the women and gold does not have any real life significance. Neither we are handling gold, nor gold coins, or not women alone. So it is translated as lust and wealth. This sex and money, clearly. So the women need not think that they are being targeted. The women and men should stay physically apart so that they can individually follow the path of renunciation. Now, we have to understand the job of the sannyasin is easy. They are physically away from sex and money, whereas the householders are staying amidst sex and wealth. So they have to learn the technique to reach the goal. So they have to learn, because it is not, first of all they have to understand it is not easy. It is almost an impossible task. As Sri Ramakrishna says, to remain in a room full of soot and to remain unaffected by the soot is extremely difficult. काजल का घर में रहते हुए काजल का साथ बेदाग होकर रहना एक रूप असंभव है. काजल का घर में रहने से कालीमा लगना स्वाभाविक है. इफ यू स्टे इन ए रूम ऑफ शूट काजल, दिस इज नेचुरल दैट काजल का कालीमा आपको कपड़े में लग जाएगा. So Sri Ramakrishna is giving the way out, how to remain in the world, at the same time stay away from worldliness. विषय में रहते हुए कैसे विषयासक्ति छोड़ना पड़ेगा. This is the secret. Now, it's not that Sri Ramakrishna is inventing a new formula. This is an age-old method which has been reproduced, retold, recounted by Sri Ramakrishna. This is the advantage of our Indian literature, that the jnana, knowledge, has been already discovered and propagated from time immemorial. Nothing new. They are being retold depending on the requirement of the particular age. We know that in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna has told Arjuna, ki, do not think that this knowledge I am giving is anything novel. Imam vivasvate yogam praktovanam amabhyam विवस्वान मनोवे प्राह मनो दीक्षा के ब्रवीत. ये जो तुमको बता रहा हूँ ये बहुत पहले मैं बता चुका हूँ, मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूँ. और कैसे बताया? पहले मैं विवस्वान का बताया, परंपरा बता रहे. इमं विवस्वते योगम प्रोक्तवान अहम अव्ययम. आई एम द ओरिजिनल परमात्मा. आई फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल disclose this truth to Vivaswan. Vivaswan मनवे प्राह. विवसन अपने पुत्र सन मनु को बताया. मनु इक्ष्वाकु को बताया. तो ऐसे नाउ पहले फर्स्ट रिसिपिएंट वाज विवस्वान, सूर्य. तो अर्जुन गॉट कंफ्यूज्ड. Arjuna says that aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah kathametad bijanyam tamadu praktavaniti. ये विवस्वान का बात आप बोल रहे हो, हे कृष्ण, आप तो अभी अभी पैदाइश हुए हो देव के गर्भ में, और सूर्य प्राग इतिहास से चल रहा है, तो आप कैसे विवस्वान को बता दिया? आपका जन्म से पूर्व ये संदेश आप किसको कैसे दे दिया? तब श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं ऐसी नहीं है. बहुनी में व्यतीतानी जन्मानी तब चर्चन. देखो ये हमारा पहला पदार्पण नहीं है, पहला आविर्भाव नहीं है. ज़्यादा ही धर्म से जब जब धर्म का ग्लानि होता है मैं बारंबार धराधाम में आता हूँ. दिस इज नॉट फर्स्ट टाइम. सो हियर ऑल्सो श्री रामकृष्ण इज नॉट द फर्स्ट टाइम. भगवान इज नॉट अराइविंग ऑन द अर्थ in the form of Sri Ramakrishna for the first time. He has arrived many times. He has himself said as Ramakrishna and many times before. But this time he has come to retell the truth in the modern way, how it can be practiced. That is the secret. How that old theory can be practically applied in the modern infrastructure, modern scenario, because the environment changes, situation changes, the old coin will not be valid anymore. New currency comes, new drugs come. So these sort of diseases were never heard. We have presently the coronavirus, we never heard before. There is no vaccine. In order to tackle this coronavirus, we must get a vaccine and booster dose. That is a new idea. So we have to keep updated with the modern way. Sri Ramakrishna gives this updated knowledge, especially for householders. See how practical this person is. Now, in the scriptures, it has been said, Satyam Bada Dharmam Chara is a golden truth. हमारे जो नेशनल जो एम्ब्लेम है वो सत्यमेव जयते. इट इज रिटन, ट्रूथ अलोन ट्रायम्स. वी ऑल नो दिस. नाउ इज इट पॉसिबल टू प्रैक्टिस दिस थियोरी इन आवर लाइफ? लेट अस आस्क. चारों ओर धोखाधड़ी चल रहा है. ये जो वर्तमान वातावरण है, तो इफ़ यू से दैट आई विल नॉट बल्ज फ्रॉम द ट्रूथ, यू मे नॉट बी फिटिंग इन. सो देयर आर सम सिचुएशंस वेयर यू हैव टू compromise. Now when you compromise, then you are deviating from your norms. Now what is the corrective method? How to live in this practically in this world, the same time reach the goal. This is our problem. We have to live in this present world. We cannot live in imaginary world. We cannot live in the world of Sri Rama or Sri Krishna. We are living in the present age. So in this present age, how to live in the world and win the goal. So he took an example, Surendranath Mitra, his devotee, his intimate devotee, householder devotee. Now let us see who was he. He was working in a merchant's office in Calcutta. He was a wealthy man and he was earning quite decent income. And he was not a saint. He was addicted to alcohol. He used to drink a lot of wine, and nevertheless he had devotion. This is our subject. How such people, those who are addicted to drinking, those who take a recourse of unfair means, but those who are having little bit of devotion for God, how they can reach goal, how they can realize God in this life. Please try to understand. Sri Ramakrishna is giving a formula how such people can see God in this present life. So it is not a fantastic, it is not a hocus pocus that it is not possible. We have to read the gospel with seriousness. If such people can realize God, then why we cannot? This question should be asked. All of us are not taking to unfair means. All of us are not hard drunkards. The leading a much better life, we have much better prospect. This is the calculation we have to make. So we have to learn the technique. That we are missing. The technique should be implemented. The vaccine has to be taken, or else you cannot get. You are prone to virus. So here he says that Surendra, frankly and clearly he says, I know you tell lies. Now we know those who tell lies, they commit sin. They are papi. He says, still I take offerings given by you. तो जो दुराचारी है उसका दिया हुआ जो अर्पण है वो भी भगवान ग्रहण करते हैं, provided it is sanctified. This is the clause. His offering has to be sanctified by his way of life. And why I am taking? Because you have, whatever you do, in addition, you do charity. This is the point. In addition to whatever you are doing, I have no objection, but you have sanctified your best deeds by way of doing, helping others, giving charity for others. You don't have, you are not miser. Same point. आप कृपण नहीं हो, आप कंजूस नहीं हो, you are not miser. And first of all he says that I cannot accept offerings of a miser. So you have to understand what is not to be done. He is not giving another objections. Our way of life, whether we are calling on God, that is not consideration. But we should not have this miserly approach. Now, what is the problem of a miser? If a miser gives a donation, what is the difficulty? Suppose a normal person make a donation of say 1,000 rupees. Whereas the miser, who is a millionaire, he makes a donation of 1 lakh. God will not take 1 lakh, he will take 1,000. Why? Because he is a miser. What is the problem? Because there is nothing in the money. Why money is being denied? Money is not being denied. The miser has his dhana sakti. He has tremendous attachment for that money. So when that money soaked with the attachment offered to God, God does not accept. That money has to be first delinked of that asakti. It has to be washed. So the attachment to the money has to be given up. That the miser cannot do. But a person who is prone to charity, he does not have attachment to that money, or else he couldn't have given. Now, Surendra, he extols, he says he spends more than he earns. That's why he is a great man. We know the father of Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath Dutt, his name was Vishwanath Datta. He was a very successful attorney in Calcutta High Court. He earned a lot of money and he led an affluent life. He had a nice house in Simla, had vehicles, in those days horse carriages, motor vehicles are not ready. Horse carriages, he was leading a very luxurious life, lot of dependents. But then he had lot of charity. His charity outdid his income, and as a result, when he died, he didn't have huge bank balance to maintain his family. So his life was exalted by the act of piety, act of charity, and that's how he became the father of Swami Vivekananda. That is the proof that he is a great man. So here in Surendranath he says, Sri Ramakrishna, that I cannot accept the offering of a miser, but you are not a miser, that's why I do accept your offering. Now, then he says that the very practical person, Sri Ramakrishna, he says the amount the miser hoards, a miser, he finds pain in spending money. He finds joy in saving money. The money is saved. Miser's money is saved in various ways, either in bank or somewhere else. Now, what happens with the saved amount? Sri Ramakrishna says, the money is such a thing that it slips away, it doesn't stay. Now, the miser does not spend the money. Then how the money is exhausted? He says 4 ways. Very practical person. First, the money is spent for paying the bills of the lawyers. The miser, because he has a lot of attachment for money, then he has to be engaged in some legal complications. Now, first, his money is spent for giving the bills for lawsuits. He has no difficulty in paying to the lawyers because he is paying it for the attachment of his money. But he cannot share his wealth to a poor person because he is attached to the money. So lawyers he freely spends. And secondly, his money is robbed off. All the money he may not be able to retain, somebody comes and robs of his money. And thirdly, because he is so much of attached to the money, he is full of tension, and his mental tension gets transferred. Sri Ramakrishna said, he didn't say so many things. He said his third way of the money, the leakage is the medical expenses. Now, how a miser has to give additional medical expenses? Because his constant thought of keeping the money together, which cannot be retained. Money never stays together. Money has to go some way or other. In order to hold the money within his possession, he is under tension. This mental tension gets transferred on his physical body, giving rise to many physical ailments. Lot of today's modern medical science has proved that most of the root of our physical ailment is in the mind. That's what is called psychosomatic disease. Soma is body, psyche is mind. The problem of the mind, tension of the mind get transferred on the body and giving rise to various ailments. diabetes, hypertension, urological problem, cardiological problem, neurological problem, host of other problems, gastro problem. Root is in the mind. So in order to remain healthy, the miser has to go to the doctor and spend huge amount out of his resources. Now, if somehow the miser is able to retain the money away from the lawyers, from doctors and from the robbers, what happens? He is usually endowed with his heirs who has no attachment with the money. They come and simply whisk it away. So his unruly children who becomes the heir of the money, who inherits the property, they simply squanders away, spends it away lavishly. He cannot do anything. So in various ways his money is squandered, but nevertheless he will not spend a single pice for the benefit of others, and that's why his money is not accepted by God. But Surendranath Mitra was not like this. He was making a lot of charity, so Sri Ramakrishna was appreciating. Now, as I said, this is not the novel invention of Sri Ramakrishna. In the Mahabharata, Swami Vivekananda says in Karma Yoga, in Mahabharata, Vyasa has said that in Kaliyuga there won't be any other sacrifices valid. Now in the various yugas there are many methods, sacrifices to be done, yag yagyadi. If we do, then you get some meritorious result. In the Swami Vivekananda says in Mahabharata, that's what happens. But Vyasa says in Kali Yuga, there is only one sacrifice remaining. No other sacrifice will do. Only one vaccine will do. And that is dana, charity. The charity is only the valid sacrifice in this Kali Yuga. What is the characteristics of Kali Yuga? It is encircled by falsehood. ये धोखाधड़ी का युग है, प्रवंचना का युग है, झूठ कपट की युग है. इस युग में अर्थ को सदर्थ करने के लिए दान ही एकमात्र शैली है. Charity is the art of making the money pure so as to be offered to God. That Vyasa has said back in the Mahabharata, it is written there. And then he says also, Vyasa there, that this dan also has various grades. What is to be given? There are various ways. The money is not the only thing to be given. The highest charity, highest gift a man can give is the Gyan Dan, a gift of knowledge. And Gyan is also that the knowledge by which one can realize God. So, the Gyan means this Paramarthik Gyan. Gyan has two dimensions, Paravidya and Aparavidya, secular knowledge and spiritual wisdom. The highest gift one can offer is spiritual knowledge, spiritual bliss. That only the competent, realized saints and seers can give. That's why we say that jnana we receive from Guru. समर्थ गुरु से जो हमें मिलता है उसके बराबर कोई दान नहीं होता है. Guru gives us a gift. Gift means you give something. What is the difference between an act of giving and act of charity? An act of charity you don't expect anything in return. When you give something, without any hope of return, without any hope of reward, उसको दान कहलाता है. But usually, even if we give a charity, give money, we ensure that our name is flashed in the annual report. We say that we gave so much money, but in last year's annual report, my name was missing. So there is a hidden agenda that we give money, but we was something, at least my name and fame. That is not charity. Pure charity means you give and there it ends. The giver who is blessed, not the receiver. You are giving so that your mind is becoming pure and you are able to reach your goal. For your own benefit you are giving. Someone is accepting for your benefit. So he should be thanked, not you. That should be the idea. So the highest gift Guru is giving, Guru never asks anything, any fee. Spiritual knowledge cannot be sold or purchased. It is received from the Guru. Guru gives on his own by the grace of God and we receive it. We cannot repay the debt of the Guru. It cannot be repaid. It is infinite. It is unlimited. It is irreparable. Now, though if we cannot give, if we do not have the knowledge, how to give? Next in stage is the Siksha Dan, giving secular knowledge. That also is a very great gift. If you can give some secular knowledge to anybody freely, that's also great gift of God. That most of us can give. We have to understand. The giving, it does not mean only giving money, check or draft or RTGS. You can give in any way you like. If you can offer some service by way of illumining a person's mental horizon, giving some shiksha, that also the great gift, second in command. Third is that prandan, giving the life. Giving the life does not mean that the restoration of life. If a person is dying, if you can restore his jivan, that is prandan. Suppose a person was getting drowned, fell in the river, and you know swimming, you jumped, you helped him out, you have saved his life, that is the prandan. You have given the life back to him. Suppose a person is dying of some disease and you have helped him so that he can get back to his life, that is also prandan, great gift. And the fourth is the annadan, that giving life for food, shelter, clothes and etc. That which we can give in forms of this commodity of money, wealth. Whatever it be, if one or the other, if one is engaged in this act of charity, then he is a noble person. That is the definition of Sri Ramakrishna, that he is a noble person and he becomes a truly religious man because he is connected with God. God has a special eye of gratitude for this person because he lives in the world entangled by the attraction. The money has a tremendous attraction. We should not underestimate this. इसको हल्कापन से ना लिया जाए. The money, earth, धन खतरनाक है, though it has some good effects also. Money has lot of benefit and also a lot of risk. दोनों लेना पड़ेगा. Money is necessary. Sri Ramakrishna says money is necessary to give charity, money is necessary to offer it to God, to help the poor, for your maintenance. Without money we cannot go. But we cannot underestimate the ill effects of money. What is the ill effect? Money makes our mind attached. So we should learn the technique how we can make use of the money का, धन का सद उपयोग होना चाहिए, दुरुपयोग नहीं. money should be properly utilized, or else money will bind us down and degrade us. There is a risk involved. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling that ill effects of money should be counterbalanced by charity. That is important. Now, how much is the attraction of money can be revealed by small incidents in the life of Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. Srima Sharda Devi was a householder. She used to live in the world handling money. Now, how she was behaving, one small incident is recorded by his disciple Swami Vachanamrit. Now, he has recorded that Srima Sharda Devi was living in Kamarpukur, where the devotees used to send money to her by money order. In those days, the postal transfer will be there. The postman will come with the money and they hand over to her directly. Now, someone has to acknowledge. So, Srima Sharda Devi could not sign. She used to give left hand thumb impression on receipt of the money. She will receive the money without counting and keep it inside. Later on, she will get it counted by someone else and acknowledge according to the money order coupons. That was her method. Now, someone objected that the usual practice that money should be counted on receipt and giving is the usual practice. तो रुपया आप ले रहे हैं वो गिन कर लीजिए. देर में भी कम बेसी हो सकता है, मोर एंड गिव एंड मोर और लेस. Now suppose the postman gives you an amount and he gives less amount, how will you catch him? Now risk is involved. Now Sri Ma says there is more risk is involved in counting the money. She says that even the sound of the coins, it gives a tinkling in the heart. Money has such a power that even the sound of the coins gives an attraction to one mind and takes it away from God. The money should be very, very carefully handled. Let us not take it easily. And that ill effect of the money should be constantly counterbalanced by the act of charity. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. And how the ill effects of money is getting counterbalanced, he explains through a country example, the details of which will reserve for our next interaction, which will be 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. Niranjanam nityam ananta rupam bhaktanukampa-dhrita vigraham vai Ishāvataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We end now with a chanting of the Lord. Let us all join together. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Announcements. Today, as usual, in the evening, we'll have the session for the personality development of the youth on the basis of the lectures from Colombo to Almora by Swami Vivekanand. भारतीय व्याख्यान का आधार पर युवाओं के लिए व्यक्तित्व का विकास एवं निर्देशित ध्यान. In the afternoon at 5 o'clock in this auditorium, and after the evening Aarti there will be Agamani Sangeet. On the eve of Durga Puja, special bhajans. And coming week we have this the reminiscence of Srimad Sharda Devi on Friday mornings at 10 o'clock, and evening the discourse on Naradiya Bhakti Sutra. Next Sunday, 11th of September, a special day. Instead of having this morning class on the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, next Sunday we will have a long-awaited spiritual retreat. For the last 2 years, we hardly could arrange a spiritual retreat of the kind. So we are resuming on the eve of Durga Puja, the next Sunday. The notice is short, but I invite the devotees to get their names registered from morning 8:30 a.m. registration, and from 9 to that by 1 o'clock, and then there will be prasad. So 8:30 to 2 is the total program, where Swami Nirvikalpanandaji from Ramakrishna Mission Ashram, Hardwar, Kankhal, he will be coming and participating in this spiritual retreat. All of you are welcome. And in the evening, after the evening Aarti, next Sunday, 11th September, we will have the religious conference in commemoration of Swami Vivekananda's participation in the Chicago Parliament of Religions on 11th September 1893. So that will be the anniversary. We will be calling the religious spokespersons from different principal religions, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and we'll have this religious conference on the basis of the unity of religion as propounded by Swami Vivekananda in Chicago on this day in 1893. All of you are welcome.